Hello, everybody. This is David Driscoll. This is the K&L Spirits Week in Review, the first one we've ever done. So I am going to blatantly copy the New York Times and Bill Cunningham and do it like he does, which is the Week in Review, where he takes pictures of fashionable people on the street and then does a voiceover. I'm just going to do pictures of whiskey bottles instead. Not as fun to look at, but hopefully as interesting. Before they're gone, I would reiterate to everybody that the Port Ellen and Rosebank from Chieftains and Gordon and MacPhail are awesome. They are from mothballed distilleries. There are very limited supplies of these left, and these are two of my favorite whiskeys to be drinking lately, so I'm starting right off with this. If you need something nice for a Christmas present or for yourself, grab these before they are gone because they are great. One of the most exciting things to come in that's brand new in the world of white whiskey was the introduction of the Low Gap from Germain Raban. It is made from 100% Bavarian wheat, and it is by far the best white whiskey that I've had. And there are a good amount of them out there. They also have a neat barrel program where you can get a case of their white whiskey and a new charred 10-liter barrel and age it yourself. I think that's like $500, but it might be a fun little project for somebody you know who likes whiskey. We've been doing the bottles of the year, so our gins of the year, David Gerard and I chose the Rusty Blade, our new barrel-aged gin that tastes like cloves and baking spice, and it's cask strength, big, hot, 62% gin. David chose the Ransom, which is a standard for Old Tom aged gin. I've been using it all year in my Negronis, and I'll probably continue to use it since we only have one barrel of Rusty Blade, and that will be gone soon. Our tequilas of the year were Charbet. For me, that's what I chose because it's so clean and pure, and I was really surprised that some Napa distillers were able just to go down to Mexico and churn out this fantastic Blanco that cuts out all the hot alcohol and includes all the good flavors. David chose the De Leon, which is fantastic. Big, smooth, amazing tequila. They now have an Añejo out as well, too, that's aged in Chateau de Cam. It's supposed to be ungodly. Brandies of the year were the Marie and Fee 58 year cognac, all from 1951, single barrel cask strength. It's amazing. It's $600, so it's not inexpensive. It's from our guy Nicholas Palazzi, who you've heard us talk a lot about. He's pulling barrels out of some cellar in cognac, and they're all incredible. And then David chose Chateau Labode, which got a perfect score from Paul Picot and the Spirits Journal. It's amazing as well. Not inexpensive at $350, of course. Liqueurs of the year, I chose the Firelit because Dave Smith and St. George have been churning this out all year. It's infused with Blue Bottle coffee. It's delicious. It's also caffeinated, so prepare to be up while you bring yourself down. And David O.G. chose the, again, Nicholas Palazzi 25-year-old Pinot de Charente, again from a barrel sitting down there in the cellar in Cognac. Amazing, and it's all gone, I think, except for like 2 bottles, so if you wanted one, better get it now. Rum of the year was Smith & Cross. That was a unanimous choice for us. It's just really the only rum out there that anybody's using for mixing cocktails. If you go to Bar Agricole, to Alembic, to Heaven's Dog, to Slanted Door, to Rickhouse, to Comstock, anywhere, they're going to make your drink with Smith & Cross because it's high proof. There's a lot of flavor. It's not overly sweet. It's not light either, and all the flavors of the rum come through. It's very old Navy style rum. It actually tastes a lot like the Black Tot rum that was just released, but that's $1,000. Bourbon of the year, another unanimous choice for the two of us, was the Parker's Heritage Collection. David and I both got to taste this with Parker Beam at Whiskey Fest, and it was fantastic. Big, hot, spicy flavors. Everything you like from a wheated bourbon in the style of Weller and the Van Winkles. This was just something new that we hadn't tasted before, so we thought that because it was so refreshing and interesting coming from Heaven Hill, it would be the bourbon of the year. So that was an easy choice for us. New this week as well were the limited edition Diageo older special bottles from their classic malts and some distilleries that don't get bottled as single malts too often, like Glen Spey and Alkroysk. Glenkinchie, there was a 20-year, Cragganmore 21-year. I'm very excited to taste all of these, although I don't know that I will before they're gone. The Alkroysk in particular was supposed to be big and desserty and sweet and rich and amazing. So those are there for your high-end needs. Also, I tasted some new indies this week with Signatory. We brought in a lot of new bottles. We brought in some Signatory, some Bladnock, amongst other things. Re-brought the Kraganmore 13-year, and also bought on closeout the rest of the Kalila 91 from Murray McDavid, Mission Gold, done in Chateau de Cam barrels, bourbon, and then it finished in Chateau de Cam barrels, and also a bottle at cask strength. Not very many of those. Those are 105 instead of 130. As you can see in the picture here, the warehouse is getting full. It's full of Lagavulin and Lafroig and Talisker and Oban, and there's more stuff coming, and it still doesn't seem to be enough because we're selling so much whiskey right now. It's ridiculous. I don't know where to put it all, but we're going to hopefully find some room because it's overflowing out into the wine area, and that's not making anybody happy except for me, of course. And in closing, there are some great cocktails out there for you to make right now. I would suggest looking at Paul Clark's Cocktail Chronicles and finding the recipes for brandy and chartreuse and creme de cacao. They're all very good. Also, there are some great drinks you can make. Make your own eggnog, where you do a shot and a half of, or an ounce and a half of brandy, 3/4 ounce of the Smith & Cross rum, 1 whole egg, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and some milk. Shake it all up and you make your own eggnog. Shake it without ice if you're going to do it, then shake it with ice again and you have an eggnog drink. Anyways, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the Week in Review.